Hello. Welcome back to BAPCH IGNOU. We are your go-to channel for all the things in IGNOU BA Psychology Honors. So whether you're embarking on a brand new journey with IGNOU, in need of some last-minute exam prep, or just seeking some clarity on those tricky topics, you're in the right place. Now, welcome back to another episode. This time we are back with Bpcc 103, that is Psychology of Individual Differences. Okay, so this one is one of the core courses in Psychology Honors at IGNOU. This subject will focus on the key aspects of the individual differences, such as personality, intelligence, motivation, and creativity. It also describes the Indian perspective about the concept of self and highlight the differences between the Indian perspective and Western perspective concerning individual differences. And if you are joining us for the very first time, a huge warm welcome to you too. Thank you for tuning in. We are your go-to channel again for BAPCH IGNOU. Okay, especially the core courses. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't lose us in the sea of YouTube videos. As I was saying, this course provides you an understanding of individual differences. Having said that, it has 5 blocks and 10 units in total. Today, let's start with the first unit, personality and individual differences. So in this chapter, we'll discuss individual differences, factors contributing to individual differences, understand the definition of personality, aspects of personality. Okay, and there's one more topic, that is theories of personality, that we'll cover in the next part. Okay, you ready? Let's begin. Alright, simply put, individual differences refer to how people are different from each other. Each one of us has unique interests, behaviors, likes, dislikes, values, and beliefs that make us stand out from one another. Okay, to make it clear, think about your friends. You might love dancing and chatting with your buddies, but your friend might prefer painting and having deep conversation with a small group of friends. Additionally, maybe you are not that into football, but your friend excels at it. So these are the examples of individual differences. Now let's relate it to your classroom. Okay. So there are students who are great at languages, while others outsmart you in science. Right? This variety in personality, intelligence, interest, and motivation is what psychologists call individual differences. They are interested in figuring out why and how people differ from each other. Okay. Now, let me ask you, aren't we all kind of similar as well? I mean, we all get hurt, having emotions, and suddenly we are excited in a similar manner, right? Yeah. So, certain stages in our development bring about similarities, like having similar needs and tasks. But at the same time, the individual differences exist due to a combination of our genetics and the environment that we are in. The study of individual differences is more like detective work for psychologists. Okay, they want to understand, explain, and even predict how someone might behave in a particular situation. It's like trying to understand what makes each person unique. This field is sometimes called differential psychology. Now the researchers, they want to identify the general aspects that make us who we are and come up with theories to predict how our thoughts, emotions, and behavior might differ or be similar. Okay, so in short, individual differences help us answer the how and why of the human behavior by digging into psychological factors that make each person special. Now let's understand the factors that contribute to the individual differences. People differ from each other in both physical and psychological ways. Physical traits like eye color or skin tone are often inherited from our parents or siblings, making us look more like them than some unrelated individuals. These physical similarities are quite noticeable, compared to the psychological traits such as intelligence or personality. So when it comes to these psychological characteristics, there's a big debate going on about what influences them more, our genes, that's also called nature, or the environment that we grow in, also called as nurture. Okay, so factors like our upbringing, early childhood experiences, and school environment can shape these traits. This ongoing debate is a central topic of the study of individual differences. A newer field called behavior genetics, it focuses on understanding how both biology and environment contribute to these differences. Okay, so researchers in this area use various methods from brain imaging to studying early life experiences to explore the role of genetics and environment in shaping human behavior. So in summary, we can say individual differences in psychological characteristics are influenced by a combination of genetic inheritance and environmental factors. Understanding these factors, they help us understand why each person is unique and how they develop over time. Now let's move on towards the definition. Okay, so now let's understand the definition of personality. When we talk about personality in everyday language, we often refer to someone's behavior or the way they present themselves. We might say things like she has a great personality or he's very outgoing. Essentially, we're talking about the traits or characteristics that make someone unique. So, the word personality itself comes from the Latin word persona, which means mask. This suggests that what we see on the surface might not always reflect the full picture of who someone is. Think of it like an actor wearing a mask on the stage. They are showing a certain side of themselves, but there might be more going on beneath the surface. So when we talk about personality, it's not just about individual differences like physical appearances, age, gender, or nationality. These differences might not be directly relevant to the personality traits. Instead, we should focus on individual differences in psychological aspects like thinking style, problem-solving abilities, emotions, motivation, and interest. However, it's important to note that intellectual abilities like problem-solving or mental agility are not considered part of personality. Psychologists usually treat personality and intelligence as separate areas of the study. Okay. Now, when we consider emotions, mood, attitude, and habits, we enter a certain kind of gray area. Okay, these are non-intellectual aspects that can influence personality. For instance, being angry, sad, or short-tempered are emotions that can change over time and may not define one's overall personality. Similarly, habits like studying late at night or having strong opinion about certain societal policies are more about specific actions or responses than broad personality traits. So personality is expected to be stable and it encompasses a wide range of behaviors and traits, while emotions and habits can be more fleeting and specific. Okay, so let's explore some definitions of personality provided by different psychologists, starting with Gordon Allport, who was a pioneer in personality psychology. In 1937, Allport published the first major textbook on personality psychology. Initially, he defined personality as the sum total of all the biological innate dispositions, impulses, tendencies, appetites, and instincts of the individual, and the acquired dispositions and tendencies acquired by experience. Well, in simple terms, he said that personality is made up of two things. Okay, biological traits and acquired traits, and it's the sum of it all. So biological traits are the things that you are born with, like your natural tendencies or instincts, and acquired traits are the things that you learn or pick up from your experiences in life. Now let's take an example. Just imagine your personality is like a tree. Okay, so here the biological traits are the roots of the trees. They are the foundation that you are born with, like your natural tendencies are the kind of person you might be from the start. Now the acquired traits, these are like the branches and the leaves that grow on the tree over the time. They come from your experiences, learning, and interactions with the world. Maybe you learn to be patient from waiting in long lines, or you become more outgoing from joining clubs or making new friends. Yeah, these are the acquired traits. So just like a tree has both its roots and the parts that grow from them, your personality is a mix of what you are born with and what you learn along the way. So later in 1961, he revised his definition, stating that personality is a dynamic organization within the individual of the psychological systems that determine the individual's characteristic, behavior, and thought. So he said that personality is a dynamic system inside you that controls how you act and think. Okay, so this one is pretty detailed in the study material itself, so I'm not going into it. You can check it out in your own time. Moving on to the concept of personality traits and states and how they differ in understanding individual behavior. Okay, so first is personality trait. So they are like the consistent ways you feel, think, and act that stay the same in different situations as time goes by. Okay, for example, if someone is always cheerful, happy, organized, those traits are part of their personality because they show these qualities in many situations, not just once in a while. Okay, so traits are relatively stable and consistent over various circumstances and settings. And the next is personality states. So personality states, on the other hand, refer to temporary and situational fluctuation in thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. States are influenced by the immediate context or situations, leading to differences in an individual behavior. Example, if someone is usually calm but gets nervous before giving a speech, that nervous feeling is a temporary state, not a constant part of their personality. So these states can change because of what's happening around you. Okay. Now let's see the differences between traits and states. Traits reflect how individuals generally act or the typical behavior, providing a broader picture of their personality. States, however, capture how individuals may vary in their thoughts, emotions, and behavior depending on the specific circumstances they encounter. Traits help us see the consistent part of someone's personality that don't change much, where states shows us how someone might feel or act differently depending on what's happening right then and there. Okay, so in summary, personality traits shows the usual way someone acts, giving us a general idea of the personality, whereas personality states are more about how someone might act differently depending on what's happening around them. So understanding both traits and states is essential for gaining a comprehensive understanding of individual behavior and personality. And by the way, if you find the video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. It's a motivation for us to keep going. Now, let's understand the aspects of personality. So personality is made up of many parts, including physical, biological, psychological, and social aspects. The biological aspects are about our body and how it affects our personality. Examples are physical appearances, like how tall or short you are. Psychological processes and hormones. These are the body functions and chemicals that can influence how you act. Or temperament. This is your natural way of reacting to things, like being easygoing or quick-tempered. Okay. Another aspect we are discussing is psychosocial aspect, and these are about our mind and how we relate to others. Like interests, okay, what you like to do or learn about, which can be influenced by family, friends, or situations. Okay, like abilities, skills or talents that you have, which can affect how you see yourself. Next is sociability, how you interact with others and fit in the social situation. Emotional characteristics, how you feel and express your emotions. Another one is typical behavioral response. That means your usual way of acting or reacting to things. Okay, so in short, personality is a mix of how our body works and how we think, feel, and interact with others. Okay, all right, that's the end of this video. We will be back with second part, theories of personalities, in the next one. Before we wrap up, a big thank you to each one of you for tuning in, and special thanks to all of you who kept on nudging us to upload frequently. Your support is invaluable to us. Thank you once again. And now, got questions or thoughts? Feel free to share them. Drop a comment below or DM us on our socials. We are listening. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, Please subscribe too. For quick updates, follow us on Instagram and join our active discussion on Telegram. You'll find all the links in description below. Now, stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, yeah, you got this. See ya.